By now we all know that Mamamax, aka Godcult, aka Max Striker, aka the biggest fraud on YouTube, is, well, the biggest fraud on YouTube. I mean, this is known. This is widely known now. I mean, his YouTube analytics right now are speaking volumes to this. This being the case, I'm going to be piggybacking off all the information and content that is readily available in regards to this insane ass situation. But if for whatever reason you don't know, a few days ago, Mamamax, Max Striker, due to his absolute hubris and ego, was called out and his methods and credibility were also questioned by many figures on the YouTube sphere. We got people like Lyrics, Nicholas Diorio, Mudahar, and even Smaggle of all people absolutely picking this man apart and making him unravel everything at the seams. Fast forward a few conversations and information exchanges with these individuals later, it was quickly uncovered that Max had no foundation to stand on when it came to his claims, and he had no integrity. It quickly became apparent that Max had lied about nearly everything he said he's accomplished, and even fabricated evidence for the sake of views and notoriety. And if you think it couldn't get any worse, well, as Nicholas Diorio himself said, it definitely does. What I want to do today is really cover the absurdity of Max. I'm not going to beat a dead horse and regurgitate the information that I'm not entitled to. If you want the full breakdown, go watch Nick's or Mudahar's video. So let's get to cooking these leviathans, lamb sauce included.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
Mamamax to me is someone that is completely out of touch with reality. He is someone that definitely lives in his own world with his own set of rules and is completely delusional. Let me provide an example and hopefully many more and just point out how insane and delusional this individual is. At some point during the absolute grilling of Max, Nick and Mudahar started to question the available evidence that Max actually had towards his investigations. And to everyone's shock, the only evidence he had against one of the individuals he's been attempting to incriminate was nothing more than just allegations. And as we all know, me saying that someone is a certified booty clapper is not definitive evidence. But regardless of that, Mamamax, instead of actually searching for real concrete evidence, all he's going off of is just allegations that other people have told him against the person he's investigating.
You should also probably know about the nature of Max's evidence and how Max has come to his conclusions that he's expressed about Camden Gerard Davis.
Well, I addressed him as a cult leader and sexual predator because that's how he has been described by the survivors, and even testimonials themselves serve as evidence in a court of law. So to me, that is all of the evidence I need to say this man is a sexual predator and cult leader.
So you're saying the allegation in and of itself is the evidence?
I'm sorry?
So you're saying the allegation in and of itself is the evidence?
It was everything. It was the evidence that was already there. It was the amount of them. It was the consistency of their testimonials, and it was.
I mean, but like you see the fallacy in that. Like, imagine if I said, "Max, you're a rapist," and Nick was to say, "Oh, well, that's a statement of fact because Muda made this statement," and that.
You don't have to say Muda made the statement. Say 5 girls said it.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened.
Well,
5 girls said it.
Well,
yes,
About
after they were in a group chat together for 3 months, after changing their allegations.
Wait, I'm
multiple
sorry.
times.
What group chat are you in? The evidence server with all of the girls?
There is evidence in there. It's not just them plotting to take down
But there was
Camden.
evidence in the other one too, right?
Yeah,
You did
there
go
was
on her
evidence that
Facebook and
wasn't available
post
either.
the self-harm stuff. You did like all those social media messages and stuff like that. That was you, right? Be it not the most important part of the story, clearly, but like it's not like they just lied about you.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
You were like at the social media part where you put like the self-harm video on Haley's thing. That was real, correct?
Oh yes, that was real.
Oh man, allegations are evidence. Our professional P-word hunter has gone to the same law school as Flamenco.
Imagine how delusional and stuck up your own ass you have to be to genuinely consider your logic is significantly more sound than the collective normal ideal and practice that is known as gathering concrete, undeniable proof. Keep in mind, there are countless individuals telling you that you're wrong, that hearsay and rumors are not substantial pieces of evidence, and that using unsubstantiated evidence could absolutely fuck you in credibility and also on a legal basis. Imagine being so delusional, so stuck in your own world that you think your answer to 2 + 2 is 5 is more correct than 4. Terrible analogy, I know, but it is more important to just highlight how delusional this person truly is. On top of that, when Mutahar confronts Max in regards to all of this, questioning his legal knowledge and what grounds Max has to stand on in regards to genuine legal concerns, Max, well, god damn it, well, I'll just show you.
What really also burns me is Max's incompetence to using actual proper research. He literally brings ChatGPT and believes that it can provide legal advice.
Alright, let's see, what is this? Oh, not ChatGPT, bro.
Okay. So, look at what I just sent you.
Yeah, you sent me a ChatGPT prompt, not a fucking legal definition.
I mean, we can argue legal semantics all we
No,
want.
we're not
We're
arguing
lawyers.
semantics. We have to look at exact definition, Max. This is the problem with this situation. You're going in with evidence that can't be 100% corroborated. You're going in with allegations as an evidence. Courts would laugh
Why-
you out.
Are we talking to your lawyer, ChatGPT?
Yeah,
right
is this
now?
your?
Like,
Is
what
this the
fuck
lawyer?
is
Like,
going
dude,
on?
right here, bro. Come on, dude, you can't. You know, if I make a video on this, this is what I have to work with. How do you honestly think I can take your side logically? If tomorrow I was like, oh, where's Max getting his legal definitions? Oh, ChatGPT. By the way, ChatGPT has also been getting fucking dumber over the last few months. I mean, come on.
If the judge and jury find a witness statement credible, they can charge or convict you of a crime based solely on witness testimony alone. That is from BergenCriminalAttorney.com. Y'all can look it up.
Show me that. Show me
we
what.
can
then
argue
show
this-
me.
we
Show
can
me
argue
that.
this
Show me
all
that
day,
definition.
Mutahar.
Show me that definition, not the ChatGPT. Why'd you not bring me that one?
I am giving you multiple.
Give me
Like, I
that.
am
Give me the
telling-
one from the legal definition. Why'd you bring me ChatGPT? Link me that right now. We'll read it together.
ChatGPT understands the legal system.
Imagine being so stuck in your own little world that you genuinely believe that ChatGPT understands the legal system. A system filled with so many bells, whistles, rules, exceptions, nuance, hoops, and ladders. Imagine just how delusional and self-centered you have to be to actually stand by this. Especially when ChatGPT has a history and is known for being unable to accurately or concretely determine information for heavily nuanced and context-heavy entities such as the legal system. We have all known that type of person. Someone that wants to be right all the time. Someone that, despite being proven wrong, they'll just get angry and outright refuse the facts before them, even if you present it to their face. Well, this is Max, but to the nth degree. Max can be told without a shadow of a doubt that what he is doing is incorrect, and be told by people with experience in investigative journalism that the way he's practicing his current investigation is incredibly dangerous and destructive to the quote-unquote case that he has been building. Issue being, as everyone has been describing, is that he has done some ludicrous things, such as doxing individuals for the sake of his moral superiority. It's as if Max has some sort of savior and superiority complex all mixed into one. Issues arise now that he has openly, quote-unquote, exposed these individuals for their heinous actions, which we don't actually know if they're responsible for or not, because there is no evidence to validate the claims being made. In a situation like this, as everyone has described, the person being called out could easily be a cornered animal and try to fight back against the claims that are being made towards them in any way they see fit. This could mean that they could now violently retaliate against Max and the victims, or it could mean that they would now have the foresight to flee any sort of conviction. However, not just that, but it could potentially endanger the accused and their family, who may or may not be guilty of the things they are being accused for. All in all, these are negative outcomes that will completely result in a huge loss if the case turns out to have any sort of validity to it. But despite that, Max considers his methodology to be superior to the advice that many much more qualified individuals keep serving him to try to actually help him out with his investigation.
Hi, Xylee.
Hey, Max. Now, we've talked before. You should have known me coming up here would probably not be a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because you're not listening to anybody else. So what makes me think you're going to listen to me? Because I'm going to tell you now, Lyrics had hella good points. Muda, once again, had hella good points, and you're not listening to them. And every time Muda talks to you for 2 times in a row, I think it was 2 live streams in a row, but 2 times Muda has talked to you, you act like your daddy whooped your ass, and you look like you're about to cry because you know his ass is right. But yet, you don't do what he says.
So you don't want me to platform the survivors for live streams?
When did I say I don't want them platformed? When did I say I don't want them platformed? Show me a timestamp where I said that.
What are you trying
Don't
to
look
say?
at her. Don't look at her. Listen to me and look at your computer. Don't look at her because she can't give you that answer. You said it out of your mouth. Show me a timestamp where I said you can't platform them.
What are you trying to say, Xylee?
What I'm trying to say is, if they have a case, again, I haven't seen the proof, so I'm saying if, okay? If they have a case, you are fucking it up by these live streams.
I don't think that's true.
No, I think it is. Because let me tell you something. You sent your audience to go hunting for this dude and his mother. If something would have happened to them, that would have been on your ass. And then it would have been on their ass for saying the damn name and having these people in the chat hunting his ass down like he's a fucking deer.
Only a self-serving, self-righteous individual who's in it for their own interest would behave in this manner. And in the case of Mamamax, while his goals do seem altruistic, it becomes exceedingly clear that he's carrying this facade of child savior for the sake of bolstering his edgy and over-the-top presence online because of what? Well, to me, it appears that he has some sort of personal grudge and self-interest in these cases that he's covered, and that becomes extremely apparent now that all of these pieces are finally clicking together.
Okay, wait a minute. So I have a question. So you plan, okay, so you do plan to go to the police, right?
Of course.
So what's the point past that? Because then you're talking court. So then if you go to police and they say, okay, yay, we're going to go get him or whatever, I don't know, live in a dreamland, whatever you want to feel. Are you going to court after that?
I'm unsure about the entire process. I think that's the job of the district attorney, but the survivors would likely appear as witnesses.
Okay. What bothers me is your answer right there. You've been doing this for 5 years and you don't know how the process goes? How many people have you actually caught?
I've never been to court.
Oh, well then shit, that makes sense then. There you go, folks. Okay. There you go.
I'm glad
you're a vigilante for views only. You're a vigilante for views only. Bro, are you serious?
Xylee probably put it best and damn well delivered. Mamamax is a predator hunter for views only. And it's honestly disgusting how despite having no valid evidence or anything to present to anyone, he still had the audacity to pester people for extended periods of time, practically begging them to look at his content and quote-unquote evidence so that his quote-unquote cause could get quote-unquote more attention. But we all know that this is absolute bullshit. It's like a little kid going up to their mom and saying, I heard that GTA is educational because it teaches you about real life problems and you don't have to buy it for me, but if you do, I'll probably learn really important things. I know that was a terrible comparison, but you guys know exactly what I mean. In Discord logs, Mamamax messaged people like Nicholas Diorio, Mudahar, and even Moist Critical Charlie, and who knows whom else in regards to the content and problem he wanted to cover, only to sort of give that manipulative guilt trip strategy at the end. I'm not going to read the logs word for word, but I'll paraphrase what he said and slap the screenshots up here. Essentially, he's saying, hey, you don't have to shout me out to millions of people, but it would be really cool if you did because it would be bringing me a fuck ton of attention and it would be for a good cause, but you don't have to, it's all cool with me if you don't. But clearly that was not the case at all because it was definitely not cool with him. Obviously, we all know the story by now. Mamamax reached out to a bunch of creators, but none of them wanted to wet their toes with boiling sulfuric acid because if they had, they would literally be dissolving their careers covering information that no one can corroborate. But regardless of that, Max has the audacity to get mad and play the victim as if somehow he is the one that is being wronged. Keep in mind, Max was considered a friend by Mudahar and maybe some of these other creators. As a friend, if you know your claims are unsubstantial, why would you subject others to spout the same nonsense and lies you made? Especially in the YouTube sphere that all of you reside in, where credibility is the driving factor of everyone's content and careers. The answer is simple. Mamamax is a self-serving piece of shit that only cares about his own gain at the expense of others. And this becomes incredibly apparent following Mudahar's video on this entire situation and his own experience in regards to the disinformation that was propagated by Mamamax and his accomplice Spencer. I have been quite quiet about Spencer for the majority of this video, but I'll come back around to her. It becomes apparent because shortly after these videos were released, we really saw just how much of an opportunistic scumbag Mamamax really is. If you haven't seen these yet, allow me to present them to you in a very take it with a grain of salt fashion, because I will be very opinionated in the way that I'm covering this, and this is all very subjective. Following the Mudahar video release, these Discord screenshots were leaked, which really just highlight Max's disgusting behavior to take advantage of everything, anything, and anyone. So this Discord log reads as, Spencer and I are considering a class action lawsuit against Mudahar for breaching our non-disclosure agreement, inciting harassment on live streams, defamation, and causing emotional distress. He's extremely rich, so the lawsuit seeks $1 million in damages to be distributed between all of you. All you would have to do is testify against him, particularly regarding his actions, not speaking to any of you about the evidence and the impact his behavior has had on you. Spencer has agreed to be the lead plaintiff, and I'll do all of the hard work. Please let us know if you are interested. This could have a huge impact on the case against Camden. If this does not reek of opportunism and self-interest gain to you, I don't know what to tell you except to stop being fucking delusional. At this point, it becomes exceedingly clear that Max is not the only one who's in it to profit from this predator hunting scam, but so does Spencer. Why would she want to be the lead plaintiff in this? Why specifically target Mudahar? And more importantly, why be delusional enough to think you can form an international lawsuit in regards to an NDA that has no legal power whatsoever, is incredibly hard to enforce, and was probably shoddily written with plenty of holes that would absolve Mudahar of any wrongdoing, if you could even call it that? Well, after watching Mudahar's video and the calls between Mudahar and Spencer, I noticed that anyone who is found questioning the integrity of the story, Spencer has this disgusting habit of getting incredibly offended, not just on her behalf, but on behalf of everyone else. Especially when the fact that there is no evidence is brought into discussion. In response to this, Max himself also gets, in my opinion, irrationally angry.
This whole situation, I have texted you.
What it felt like seeing him on streams.
You went on with Tommy and Lyrics and are sitting there talking to them when you literally haven't spoken to the other survivors.
Hold on, can you put Max on for a second?
I'm right here.
That was snaky as fuck, dude. Oh, I'm coming after you, Mudahar. Stand back, Spencer. Can you tell him what you felt? You are literally just a little
because
snake
it
hiding
literally.
behind her, dude. That's
Can you
disgusting.
listen to me? Can you listen to me? It was so fucking heartbreaking hearing Muta sit there and say that, oh, if this is fake, then I'll gladly put money towards Camden's defamation trial.
Yeah, if it
That
is fake.
was
I thought you said it's
up.
fine with saying it's allegedly. Now all of a sudden,
It's
there's
real?
No,
But no,
there's no
the
like
thing
other side to the
is
story.
How do you feel? How do you think that it makes myself and the other survivors feel when you're saying that? It is okay to think that, but you're going publicly and saying that to everybody else when you haven't spoken to the others. I'm just trying to understand, why would you do that without talking to us?
I've spoken with Max.
You
Max is your
literally-
representative. Max is supposed to be the one bringing the story across to everyone. And yes, if in the case that everything is actually... Why is it
Why
your
is it
job?
my job?
Because you're the one who's like,
What?
spearheading this.
What?
You're the one spearheading it. What do you mean? Fine, give it to
Okay,
Spencer's channel.
why
Spencer, you upload this whole thing.
Because
What?
you're the fucking person who's
You
running the
chose
investigation.
Oh my
This is
to
God.
your
investigate
case.
this as well, and you haven't.
Yeah, why are you putting it all on me? Like, yes,
Because it's
You're
your
the fucking
case.
one bringing it. Why are you talking about this
absolutely. I am the
case?
first one.
Yeah.
I do not want to
You're
be the only one.
You're-
I'm the only one.
Well, then you are the only one. You haven't convinced... Exactly. You haven't made anything
Because you
compelling.
haven't been listening to them.
That's
I've been
because you
trying
haven't been
to
giving
set up
anybody
a
anything to
call
work
like
with.
this for months.
Yeah, and I've had a
Why
2-hour-long
Muta,
call,
why-
and I'm not
Muta.
moving anywhere close to the situation. In fact, I have more questions.
Why can't you take initiative to talk to other survivors?
Well, I'm talking to you right now more than anybody else.
This is very telling to me. This shows that the people that are behind God Cult, aka Mamamax, are some very unhinged and unstable individuals with a huge serving of conflict of interest. I mean, look at this Discord log sent by Spencer herself. I think this is important personally. Muda has breached terms of the NDA, and his actions have caused cyberstalking and harassment, and this is dangerous. If he doesn't learn, what stops him from doing similar in the future in relation to other cases? I agree on waiting for Victoria, though, just in case, but if it's plausible, Muda should be held accountable. His behavior is disgusting. Talk about using loaded words, euphemism, and whataboutism. Firstly, Muduhar didn't cover the situation because the likelihood of this situation being mostly spectacle based off their admission is extremely likely due to Max's tendency of fabricating evidence, lying, and even having personal grudges against the people he has quote-unquote exposed. Secondly, his actions didn't cause anything. Your want and need for attention to a case that has no case has put millions of eyes on your videos, podcasts, and streams where you expose these people and their allegations to public scrutiny. This is not Muduhar's fault. This was and always will be your fault for lying. If you are representing these victims and it turns out that you haven't even compiled all of their evidence or claims, properly distributed the money you've been earning, and even lied about the evidence you claim to have, and also don't have real legal counsel, then what you represent is fraud, and thus the people behind you will not be trusted by association in the court of public opinion. This is your fault. Lastly, you're saying that Muduhar should be held accountable because his behavior is disgusting? That's absolutely the contrary. You guys called him. You guys presented your grievances and evidence or lack thereof, and he made a very responsible and sound reasoning of your claims. He decided that this could very well be defamation and feels personally ashamed that he entertained someone who has never been truthful for the entirety of their career on YouTube. What he did was not disgusting. It is very reasonable to want concrete evidence to avoid misappropriated scrutiny and legal action towards someone you have zero evidence against. Otherwise, we get situations where someone's life could get ruined, or someone could respond very negatively and dangerously against the claims you are making. His actions were the most reasonable and sound anyone could have made. You're just mad that he had the intelligence to catch you on your bullshit. You're holding a very personal grudge, and it shows. At some point in time, I want to say 2 years ago, I might be wrong, please correct me if I am, Max had went on Nick Diorio's podcast and claimed that he had gotten a predator arrested by the name of Pablo Sunny. Let's keep that in mind. And then at another point in time, he had also claimed that he successfully exposed another pedophile by the online alias Magnetar. As it turns out, both of these claims are absolutely false. Let me key in on the Magnetar situation real quick because this is the most disgusting and disastrous situation that serves as evidence to Max's incredibly reckless use of his platform and audience. Magnetar is someone that had made a video against Mamamax and some of Max's shady past, as Magnetar actually had connections to family and friends of Max. After this whole situation, Max decided that it would be reasonable to claim that Magnetar was a pedophile and was very vocal about it to hundreds of thousands of people and effectively ruined this person's life off of nothing but a word-of-mouth claim.
So this is what I'm saying. There's multiple things against Anthony Field. For me, I feel comfortable saying he is a pedophile. I don't feel he could do anything to me legally for saying that, because if he were to, the girl who made the testimony would come forward and testify against
So she
him.
has his dick pic and has timestamps of when it was sent. That's real, that exists?
He does not have his dick pic.
So what does she have that she could come forward with?
Just her memory. But
wait,
she
so you
can't-
don't think that you could legally be held liable for the statements you're making if he were to sue you because you have someone who can come forward and tell you it happened?
Well, I am just documenting what she said.
No,
If he
you are
wants to
calling
sue
him
me-
a pedophile.
Correct. And to be able to successfully sue me for defamation, he would have to prove that I am lying, which I am not, because the girl is real and she sent me those DMs.
Conflict of interest much? Absolutely. He had a personal grudge against this person and decided that the most reasonable course of action would be to absolutely defame him out of spite. Furthermore, on conflict of interest, a topic that I'm about to beat to death, I'm pretty sure I said this already, but if I didn't, Spencer is actually a family friend or distant family of Max. I forget what exactly, but it's all the same. It's a personal connection nonetheless. Max was given housing to Spencer. Spencer is financially dependent on Max, and all of the revenue that Max earns is supposedly distributed amongst the legal case and the victims, but despite that, there are claims going around that one of the survivors that Max is representing and is supposed to be supporting had apparently made posts on Facebook asking for a bit of financial help to get diapers for her baby. If Max is supposedly giving financial aid and legal aid to all of these survivors, why is Spencer the main one receiving all of the main benefits? Her own channel, her own housing and financial support from Max himself? Why did this victim have to rely on Facebook for diapers? And also, apparently, Max hasn't even compiled the evidence from the other survivors, only Spencer's claims.
Max had actually revealed to us that there were portions where he didn't even properly vet and timeline all of the evidence.
I guess the challenge for me with showing the evidence is I personally have not been walked through the evidence besides Spencer's. The survivors in the server, not all of them are as active as we would like them to be. Obviously, a lot of them have trauma, they talk about it, and that it's hard for them to actually just sit down and speak with me. But that's why I've been just asking the general public to please be patient. Like, there's a lot of things we need to wait for. I am just trying to get the word out that this is Camden Gerard Davis. This is what the accusations against him are.
Something is very fishy here, and I promise you, it ain't the ocean. Rather, it's the ocean of lies and false narratives spun by Max and Spencer. But why would they, more importantly, Max, do all of this and maintain a lie for so long? Well, fact of the matter is that Max is a very opportunistic and self-righteous scumbag with a massive, and I mean massive, savior complex. He feeds off the attention he gets to delusional degrees. It's one thing being popular for your general charisma or entertainment value, such as Moist Critical, or PewDiePie, or even Markiplier. It's another thing to be popular for something as righteous as protecting people, and to an even more morally virtuous extent, children. It's clear that Max revels in this. He considers himself to be better than other people and to have more value than those who share the YouTube platform because he is, in his own words, the pedophile hunter.
But I am being the nicest I could be. I could literally cancel you, Charlie. I could literally cancel you. And I choose not to. It's true, though. It's the truth. I'm the friggin' pedo hunter.
This clip really disgusts me because knowing what he did to Magnetar, spinning a narrative off nothing but a lie and presenting it as fact, I interpret what he's saying here as sort of like he knows he could just lie about Moist Critical and people would believe him. It's like he knows he's lied before and could just fabricate things because he had credibility for busting pedophiles in the past. It's scary to think that Max holds himself in this regard. It's pathetic. It's clearly all an ego trip for this disgusting fraud, and that's what the point of this video is, to sort of highlight the character that Max has and his lack of integrity. He thrives off seeing himself as the hero. He cannot live without being the arbiter of moral superiority on the internet landscape. And for a long time, a lot of people did see him as someone who was doing incredible and much necessary work on YouTube trying to filter pedophiles out of the landscape to protect more people. Little did we all know is that he is in fact and has always been the villain in all of this, as everything he has done has been purely for spectacle and to bolster his reputation and pockets. Why? Well, the answer is very clear. It's true what people say. Typically, the people who preach about something the most are the people who project their inner character the most. While I doubt that Max is a pedophile, what he's been doing is a reflection of his ugly inner self, promoting and talking about such a virtuous and heroic topic for the sake of hiding how deceitful and opportunistic this snake of a person really is. All of that being said, for like the millionth time, that is all I got for today. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Later.